One Wiregrass Sheriff's Office is getting more eyes in the sky. News 4's Will Polston shows us how a local aviation unit is reaching new heights.
The Henry County Sheriff's Office has added a new helicopter to their aviation fleet, going from 1 to 2 choppers. Sheriff Eric Blankenship says these will play a huge role in many cases.
With the majority of our area being heavily wooded area and then the whole east side of our county being water, having the aircraft gives us the ability to aid in search and rescue efforts.
An additional helicopter will also extend the life of the aircrafts.
It also keeps so many hours from being put on one aircraft to keep parts from timing out.
Though it belongs to the Sheriff's Office, they say that they are here to help, offering their assistance to surrounding agencies.
It's available to anybody in the area that needs it, that has an emergency situation.
Blankenship knows many would be opposed to spending tax dollars on a new helicopter, but luckily that was avoided.
We obtained it through the 1033 program as well as we did our first one, so it was no cost to the taxpayers.
Henry County's entire aviation team is made up of volunteers. Blankenship stressed how lucky he is as a sheriff to have these tools under his tool belt.
Henry County is very fortunate to have this here for the citizens and not put a burden on them on their taxpayers' dollars either.
In Henry County, Will Polston, your hometown news leader.
The Henry County Aviation Unit was established in 2018 and has assisted in numerous cases, most recently helping look for Phoenix Wilkerson. Phoenix was an autistic 4-year-old boy who went missing in Barber County.